Okay, buddy, I will do your video idea. Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is RBT, and welcome to the 10 easiest superstar players to trade for in Madden 19 Connected franchise. Right off the bat, disclaimer, I know this sort of messes with the trade logic and exploits it, but that's not my problem. My problem is just to show you guys what players are the easiest to trade for in your franchise to make your team as good as possible off the start. So hopefully guys do enjoy today's video, and if you do, make sure to drop a like. Let's see if we can smash 2,000 likes for today's video. Be sure to subscribe if you are new and turn on the notification bell if you haven't. With that said, let's get into the first superstar player to trade for in Madden 19 Connected franchise. And if there's any other superstar players that aren't on this list that you can trade for rather easily, let me know in the comment section below. But first player is on the Buffalo Bills, and that is 27-year-old strong safety, 92 overall Micah Hyde. So off the bat, let's just throw in our left guard Stephen. Throw him in the deal, and it's already halfway to going through for a 92 overall 27-year-old that might progress a little bit more throughout this connected franchise. Next, let's throw in Nate Sudfeld and a backup running back. Let's go with, as a rookie, let's go with Corey Clement. He's a second-year player. Throw him in the deal. Maybe we can just throw in both of these guys into the deal, and it's accepted right off the bat. A 79 overall left guard and a 77 overall running back for a 92 overall strong safety. So, already relatively easy to get. Next, let's go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for player number 2, and that is Gerald McCoy. Once again, let's start off by just throwing in a running back like Donald Pumphrey Jr. I know he's a rookie, and they're not actually interested in him, so that makes things kind of awkward. So how about 35-year-old Darren Sproles? Will this not be close to being accepted, but it'll be okay because we'll find somebody else. So let's go to the left outside linebacker position. Maybe they're interested in Paul by chance. They're not interested in Paul. How about a free safety? Rodney McLeod Sr. He is an 81 overall. They are interested in him, so this is a 10 overall difference right here. And he's only an 81. Submit this through, and it's accepted right off the bat. So basically all you have to do is find one player, no matter how low the overall, one player they're interested in, and it will be accepted right off the bat. So Gerald McCoy is the second player on this list. Next, moving on to another defensive tackle, and that is going to be a New York Giant, Damon Harrison Sr., a 95 overall. He's cheaper than Gerald McCoy, younger than Gerald McCoy, and a higher overall than Gerald McCoy. So what's it going to take to bring him in? Well, we do have Nick Foles, who they are interested in. He's worth $12.3 million, so we'll be actually saving cap here, and it's accepted right off the bat. We bring in a superstar player, Damon Harrison Sr., and it doesn't have to be Nick Foles. Once again, pretty much, if you can find one player on your team that the Giants are interested in, it'll more than likely be accepted straight up. So that's another superstar player that you can add to your team. Next, let's get rid of some of the players that we're used to seeing, because there's some players that we can normally get in the years past for relatively easy that are a little bit more difficult to get this year, but there are some players that you can also get this year that were kind of easy to get last year. And right off the bat, number 1, Marshall Yanda, a 92 overall, and he will regress after the first season. But still, if you're looking to make a team as good as possible off the bat with your limited resources, Marshall Yanda is a guy to get to slide in at that right guard position. Marshall Yanda, I think he can be accepted for as little as a 3rd round draft pick. We can send that through. It's about halfway to going through. So let's see if we can find a right tackle. I know we have Lane Johnson. I'm not going to trade him away. Middle linebacker. Do we have any middle linebackers that would want Leroy by chance? They don't want Leroy. So this is kind of hit a standstill. But if we throw in Derek Barnett or Michael Bennett. Michael Bennett is 32 years old. How about Josh Sweat? Okay, so right here, a 70 overall right-in for Marshall Yanda, and it was accepted right off the bat. That's what I'm talking about. Overall is not that much of a factor. The big factor is whether or not they're actually interested in the player in the green interest. So right here, 70 overall Sweat goes to the Ravens for Marshall Yanda and a 92 overall. all. So let's go ahead and get this last player off the list, and we'll get into some even bigger superstars to finish off this list. Alex Mack, a 90 overall center. Once again, a player that will start to regress after the first year. But I mean, if you're looking, like I said, to get a player that's really good at the center position off the bat, he is your man. So they do want a wide receiver. They want one of these guys by chance? No, they don't. So let's see if they're interested. Are they interested in a 35-year-old Darren Sproles? By chance, they're not. But how did he go down? I thought he was an 85. Maybe I'm just an idiot. Donald Pumphrey Jr. They don't want him either, although he is a rookie. But that did go up a lot. So a player they're not even interested in made the deal go up quite a bit. We don't have any fullbacks. They want a right guard, but we don't have any right guard to be willing to trade away for this particular video. But now if we can just throw in some draft picks, let's try. Now if we throw in the third, this should be accepted, and it is. Probably could have got it for a little bit less, maybe a couple fourths. But for Donald Pumphrey Jr., a player they weren't even interested in, a 75 overall running back, and a third round draft pick, we bring in 90 overall Alex Mack. Now with that said, it is time to trade for the big boys. Going to the New York Giants, a player you could not get last year, but you can this year, Odell Beckham Jr. How much is it going to take to bring him in? Now, it will take a couple good players. Let's throw in Fletcher Cox, but keep in mind there's a lot of players you just can't even trade for no matter how much you actually put in the deal. But Fletcher Cox straight up for Odell Beckham Jr. made it go up about 3/4 of the way. So let's try to get some lower overall players added into the deal just to make it more of a point. So at the outside linebacker positions, we have Nigel Bradham, who is 85 overall, 28 years old. We have Corey Nelson. They're probably not going to be interested in either of these guys, so we will throw in Nigel Bradham. Now, at the left end position, we have Chris Long, who they are interested in. So this is going to be beautiful. So for Nigel Bradham, Chris Long, and I think it might end up taking a first, a second round draft pick, potentially a second. We get Odell Beckham Jr. And let's stay right there on the New York Giants and get another superstar player, a super young player, an 88 overall who will only progress into the 90s, Landon Collins. He's young, high overall, doesn't cost anything, and he's super easy to get. So right off the bat, they need a D tackle. Was there any D tackles aside from these guys? We have a ton of good ones. Let's go with Haloti Ngata or Tim Jernigan. And they obviously, of course, don't want either of those guys. But let's just go ahead and throw back in Gerald McCoy. He's old. He's worth a ton of money. For some random reason, they don't want a 91 overall, so we'll just completely forget about that. But they do want a wide receiver. I will be willing to throw in either one of these guys in the deal. They want Nelson Aguilar, so we throw this in, and that's about halfway to being accepted. Now, if we can go and throw in Darren Sproles, and I think if we can throw in a second round draft pick, this should be accepted. And I lied. It was declined because they're not interested in Darren Sproles. It makes things a little awkward. But if we do throw in a first round draft pick, this one should be accepted, and it is. So for Darren Sproles, a 35-year-old running back, a first round draft pick, and now Nelson Aguilar, we get an 88 overall superstar, young, strong safety in Landon Collins. Now, moving on, a couple more players to go after, and a couple of big players to go after. Let's go to the Houston Texans and try and trade for J.J. Watt, a 98 overall player. So let's start off by throwing in, they need a left tackle. They want Hal Vitae by chance? They do. That makes things beautiful. Now at right tackle, how about center? We have Alex Mack, who I'm not going to trade away since we already got him. Right tackle, we have Lane Johnson. So it is going to take a pretty good player to bring in J.J. Watt, but hopefully this will just make your brain break in 100 pieces. At the right end position, we have Derek Barnett, a younger player. Let's just try this deal right here. That's pretty close to going through. Let's see if we can throw in a second round draft pick to make this get accepted. And it was barely declined. So how about a first round draft pick from next year? That one was accepted for J.J. Watt, a 71, an 80 overall, and a first round draft pick from next year. Mental. So 2 more players to go in this top 10. Next, we're going to go to the Carolina Panthers and show you how easy it is to get a 99 overall middle linebacker in Luke Kuechly. Now, keep in mind when you get players that are this good, it does take a little bit more to make them come in, but I mean, it makes sense for him being a 99 overall. So we'll throw in, I don't really want to throw in one of these guys, but we'll throw in Alshon Jeffrey. Also, how about at the cornerback position? Do we have any lower overalls that they're interested in? One of these guys by chance? They want both of them. So we submit this through, and it's already almost accepted. So how about that 75? Do they want Rasul? They don't. But now, dudes, literally all we have to do now is throw in a 4th round draft pick, I believe, and it should be accepted. It's close to being accepted, so let's do a 2nd round draft pick from next year. And Luke Kuechly is going to not be coming to the freaking Philadelphia Eagles, but instead, if we throw in the 2nd round draft pick from next year, this will be accepted. Luke Kuechly is coming to the Philadelphia Eagles. And it's just funny because normally when I made this video last year, I had to do multiple teams just to prove things. But I'm going to end up, I believe, if in case we can get this last deal to be accepted, I'm going to get all 10 of these players on the same team with just the trade resources that the Philadelphia Eagles had. Now, the 10th and final player, and one of the best players that you can trade for in Madden 19 is Khalil Mack. Now, what does it take to bring in Khalil Mack? Now, they also need a cornerback, and it will take a good player to get Khalil Mack, so they only want Ronald Darby. We throw this in, it's about a 4th of the way to getting accepted. So, we throw in another good player. How about a right outside linebacker? We have Corey Nelson, who they don't want, unfortunately. We already traded away. How about Jordan Hicks? They want him? They do. Submit this through. That is so close to being accepted. And